Hello and welcome, intermediate students, to another intermediate lesson at learnpianolive.com. This is an intermediate lesson, so the assumption is that you can probably play a couple songs at least well enough to impress a couple friends. You might have some basic understanding of music theory or something, but you really haven't had any formal training. So if that's you, you're in the right place. If you feel, throughout this lesson like it's way too advanced, you might want to go back and check out yesterday's lesson. It's in the archives, the beginner's version of this lesson. That might answer a lot of your questions, but feel free to ask away, ask any questions. This is about you and me, so you got to ask questions so I know, how to help you best. And there's a couple other things I want to talk to you too about before this countdown clock hits 0. All right, first and most important, ask a lot of questions. The way that you're going to do that is there's a couple different ways. You can jump in the chat room and talk with the other students who are logged in at the same time. I'll be watching the chat room too. You can ask your questions there. Or if it's a question that's just for me, a question about the lesson, especially if you know it's one that's going to fit best at the question and answer time at the end, then you can just put your name and your question in the box below this video, click submit, and then I will get that. Now, if you're already in the archives, if you're watching this not live, but you're watching this in the archives, then make sure at the end of the lesson you click on the survey button. You don't have to fill out the entire survey. If you want to, I'd love your feedback, but really the best part of that is that you can put your question in there, and then when you click submit, then I will get all of your questions. I'll make sure that you get them answered, whether you're in the archives or you're live. Right next to this video, there should be a PDF button and an MP3 button. Now, you don't really need those till after the lesson because I'm going to be showing you on screen the PDF and showing you how to use it. And I'll play the MP3 during the lesson too, so you know at the end of the lesson how you're going to use that. Some people, though, like to print out the PDF ahead of time, so as I'm making notes on my version, they can make the same notes on their version. But it works either way. All right, this is perhaps the most important part. You need to leave the lesson when you feel like you're sufficiently challenged. So, I'm teaching these lessons, 12 to 15 lessons a month. Normally, in traditional lessons, you're getting like a lesson every other week or so. So this is just way too much for you to take in. So, the goal is for you to get some little nugget of something that you can really practice on, really work on. Once you feel like you have that, then you really don't need anything else from me. Go practice. That's where this stuff is really going to happen. You're not going to get through this lesson and be able to play something really well. You're going to get through this lesson and have the information that you need to practice more effectively. That's really the goal here. So don't feel bad about taking off early. If you feel like halfway through the lesson you got as much as you can take in at that time, then go practice that thing, and then come back whenever you've got that thing down, or you're bored with it, or you just want to check out the next topic. Don't forget also that you've got the archives too. So if you want to see one little thing, just repeat it over and over and over. Just give me, hopefully within 24 hours after the lesson, this thing will be up in the archives, so you can just go back and watch it over and over and over and over and just get that little segment down. So each lesson has its own specific focus. This one, out of the 8 sectors of musicianship, the one that we're focusing on today is style. So this is a lot like, in language, how different places of countries have different accents. Even though they're all speaking the same language, they have different accents from different sectors of the country. So that's kind of what this is. In music, you've got music. This is C. But then, you've got all your different accents, the different pieces of lingo, the blues stuff, and the country stuff. So all the different genres have their own very distinct feels to them. Today's going to focus on giving you a little piece of how you can have the accent of a certain style. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's try it out. Welcome back. So this is the second lesson of jazz piano, and hopefully this one is getting recorded and will be in the archives. Now, normally once a month, there's one Wednesday that I'm going to be out of town, and so we usually just reschedule for Thursday. But since I've been re-recording all of these lessons anyway, since the stream recording hasn't been working, and I've been doing all these re-recordings for the archives, then I'm just going to go ahead and pre-record to what would be tomorrow's lesson instead of trying to do it live on Thursday. So tomorrow's lesson will be a pre-recorded lesson that I will actually be recording tonight. You know, let's just say 10 o'clock Pacific time tonight. We're going to do that broadcast if the recording for this one works. So perhaps tonight we'll do a 10 o'clock broadcast. And if you are not up at that time, that's perfectly fine. It'll be up in the archives one way or another. So let's jump into this lesson and see what we can learn. So this is the goal by the end of the lesson. Something like that would be the goal. So let's talk about what's going on here. First of all, we've got guide tones. Now, yesterday we talked about emphasizing the 3, and that video did not get recorded, and it is not. The live lesson didn't get recorded, and also the re-recording of it has not been done yet. So let me tell you what I'm about to tell you in the recording that I'm about to do for yesterday's lesson, and that is the 3s of all these chords is going to be important. So if you're not able to do that yet, just going through and playing the 3s of each of these chords would be something like this. The 3 of C would be right there because that's your chord, and then the 3 of D would be right there, and then the 3 of D minor would be right there, the 3 of G would be right there, and the 3 of C would be there. You are right in the chat. The MIDI is not taking. Hang on just 1 second. Let me give you something weird looking there and see if I can fix that for you. Sorry, I'll be right back. Should be back. Fantastic. So then, the 3s of each of the chords is going to be important. You want to be able to play through all of the chords, hitting just the 3s before we talk about guide tones. So the 3s again, just hitting the second half of that from the F major 7. Oh, sorry, it's the repeat. You do have a repeat on this. So it's AA format, which we talked about in yesterday's lesson, which I'm going to record tonight. So this is the D minor, and then the G, the 3 of the G, then the 3 of the C. Now here comes the 3 of the F. Here's the next section down there. That's the 3 of the F, because that's the F chord. The 3 of the D chord is right there. The 3 of the D minor chord. And then the 3 of the C chord. The 3 of the D chord. The 3 of the D minor chord. The 3 of the G chord. And the 3 that's the first thing, is just going through and playing those threes without the chord. I was giving you the chord as a context, but the three by itself with a little bit of decoration would be something like this. The C, then the D, then the three of the D minor, then the three of the G, then the three of the C. Now with that decoration on the repeats. The three of the D, the three of the D minor right there, the three of the G, and the three of the C. Then to the next section, the three of the F, the three of the D, D minor, three of the C, three of the D, three of the D minor, three of the G, three of the C. So then the next thing you want to add in after that is the 7 or the 6. Now in the case of a 6, the right, like this one right here. In fact, that's the only chord that we have a 6 on for this particular song. So that's going to be, the 3 is going to be the most important one. And then the 6 of that chord, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 5, and then 6. So these are going to be the two most important tones. Those are the tones that are going to guide the listener in what the chord is. This one tells you whether it's major or minor, and this is like the first color tone, the first one that tells you something about, like, is this a dominant chord, is this a major chord, is this moving, where is it moving? That's all wrapped up in this other one over here that is not the 1 or the 5. So the 3 tells you major or minor, and then the other guide tone guides the listener to know whether this is what role this chord is playing, I guess. In, like, if this was a dominant chord, then this would feel like a 5. Now I feel like I'm in the key of F here playing a C7. So, but when it's a 6, then it feels more like at home, at rest. It feels like this is probably a 1 chord. So that's what that note is. That's why that one's important and what it's guiding you to. So those are called guide tones, which is our first thing here. So the guide tones, then, if we add that into the 3, after you can decorate the 3, then we add in the other guide tone, and we come up with, that's the 3 and the 6, 3 and the 7 of D7, D minor with the 7, 3 and the 7 of G, and then 3 and the 6 of C. One more time. 3, 6, 6, 3, 6, 3, 3, 7, 3, 7, 3, 7, 3, 3, 7, 3, 7, 3, 6, 7, 3, 7, 3, 7, 3, 3, 3, 3, 7, 3, 7, 3, 3, 7, 3, 3, 7, 3, 7, 3, 3, 6, 3, 7, 3, 7, the D, and then here's D minor, 3, 7, 3, 3, 7, 3, 7, 6. Okay, so then all of that plus some decoration then sends us to this. D7, D minor, G7, C, F, D7, D minor, C, something like that would be our guide tones. And then all that we're missing after that, and I say after that, I mean like 6 months later or something. Like, that's a lot of practice, especially if you're new to jazz. Now, again, this is an intermediate lesson, so the hope is that you have some knowledge of these chord types already. All I'm doing here is saying, hey, the 3 and either the 6 or the 7, those are important notes that you'll want to use those a whole lot when you solo. But if just like playing a C6, if that's a challenge on its own, then that's a challenge on its own. Don't worry about taking the next step. Don't feel bad if you just go, okay, cool. So I guess I got to really grind out these chords by themselves before I'm ready for that next step. Okay, cool. So then after that, it's just a matter of rhythms. So the important rhythms that we're going to focus on today are the C jam rhythm and the Killer Joe rhythm. So C jam is pretty simple. It's just going to be 2 notes right in a row and right at the beginning. With nothing after it. Pianists and guitarists especially are notorious for just playing way too many notes and not having nearly enough space, because we don't have to take a breath anywhere. Our fingers can just keep on going, whereas a horn player, a trumpet player, a sax player, there's some end to what they can do before they finally have to take a break. So the C jam would be something like... with a couple of the decorations. And this, of course, is overusing the rhythm. So that's the C jam rhythm. It's just 2 8th notes right in a row with maybe a little break afterwards would be nice. And then the other one is the Killer Joe rhythm, which is the same 2 notes but with a little break in between, exactly a beat and a half between the first note and the second note. So we'd have something like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So playing on the 1 and the and of 2 is the Killer Joe rhythm. So 1, 2, and. So that's going to be 1 note on the beat and then the next note a little bit later off the beat. Honestly, or vice versa. So as long as you have 1 note on the beat and then 1 note off of the beat, meaning a note on a number, 1, 2, 3, or 4, and then another note after that that is not on a number, on an and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So I got a number on 1 and then I've got a beat. Slow down. I've got a note on 1, and then I've got a note on an and. Cool. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That is the C jam rhythm. So then if I just go on the next and after that, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, then that's the Killer Joe rhythm. And the truth, of course, is, I mean, those 2 are the 2 most significant ones, but after that you could throw in, a 1 on the and of 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Or the 1 on the and of 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So any of these would be fine. I'm trying to give you something small, bite-sized, practical. So the Killer Joe is going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so that's the one that we'll try to focus on here this time through, using the guide tones. C, F major 7. Something like that. So hopefully you heard a lot of da dot, da dot in there. Combining the two of them, I'll try to call them out. I'll say C or kill. Okay, I'm not going to be able to remember that, I don't think. I'm going to try to remember that, though. So I'll call it C if it's going to be a C jam blues rhythm. And then I'm going to call out kill. If it's a killer Joe. No, I'll call it Joe. I'm more likely to remember Joe. Joe and C. Yeah, this is going to go terribly. Here we go. C already. Goodness. C. Joe. C. Joe. Joe. C. C. Joe. Joe. C. Joe. C. 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 That was Joe. 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 C. C. Joe. Joe. Okay, so that was mildly successful, kind of ish. So those are, I guess that's all of them. Okay, that's all the concepts. Let's do our wrap up and see if any of this still makes sense even in my own head. So we started talking about guide tones by yesterday's wrap up, which was focus on the threes of the chords. So we were just playing the chord, but then focusing on that one note and trying to connect that note to the three of the next note. And then after that, we did the adding in either the 6 or the 7 of each chord. So then they're all 7s except for the ones that say 6s. So the 6 is just 1, 3, 5. We'd have the 6 right there. And again, hopefully the goal is that you already know how to play these chords. So then I'm just telling you which ones to focus on of the chords that you can already play. D7, D minor 7, G7, and then the C6. And I'm telling you to focus on the 3 and the 6. And then after that, after we decided which notes we were going to try to choose and connect, then we decided which rhythms we should use and really trying to focus on getting 2/8 notes. The first one either on a beat or off a beat, but the next one being whatever that first one was not. So if the first one is on a beat, then having the next one be off of the beat, on an and then, or vice versa. So starting on the and of a beat, and then the next one would be on a beat somewhere. So starting on an and then like and 2, or and 3, or and 4. Okay, cool. So then that's all of them. Let's do our feature, which is not... Oh, really? Bummer. Okay, so the feature was supposed to be... It's going to say video. Poopy prep. Okay, so then our lick of the day is going to be actually the lesson that's coming up in tomorrow in the archives, which is the Jersey bounce lick. I'm going to show it to you on a D minor. So we're going to have this D minor 7. Just for right now, we're going to pretend it's a D minor 6. Which would kind of work. And so the Jersey bounce is going to be 2, 3, 5, 6, then 2 again, back to the 1. So again, on this D minor 6 that we have right here, it would be 2, 3, 5, 6, 2, 1. Sounds super duper cool. Or, and then you can go wherever you want from that one too. So you could have, so on that D minor, it would sound something like this. Tomorrow, I'll show you exactly how to use all of those, what kinds of chords you can use them on, and exactly what numbers of each of those chords it's supposed to be. So it's just that one lick. It's the Jersey bounce lick. And yeah, I think that's it. Let's get to your questions. It looks like there are a couple already. So question number 1. What's the difference between Killer Joe and C-Jam? Aren't they both just 2 notes? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. The difference is the space between the 2 notes. So on the C-Jam that we talked about, and I'm just taking that from the song C-Jam Blues, which is ba-dum, 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 so if you just that thing, the very beginning thing, I'm just stealing that rhythm out of that song. So it's just 2 notes. Yep, you got 2 eighth notes in a row. Cool. And then the other one, Killer Joe, is the same exact rhythm, except that you've got an extra beat in between. So 1 and 2 and 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That should sound different than 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the 2 rhythms. And that's really the only difference between any rhythms. They're all just notes in a row. The only difference in rhythms is the distance you put between the notes. So that's the primary difference. But the more significant than that, they are both the same concept, which is put a note on a beat, put a note off a beat, put a note on a beat, put a note off a beat. And that's called syncopation. And that's what makes up the majority of jazz, especially the bebop type of stuff that we're focusing on. Next question. Who is Killer Joe? By... Who's Killer Joe? I don't know who Killer Joe is. Hopefully he's not in your neighborhood. Who is it by? I don't know. Benny Goldston is the version that I'm thinking of, but I don't know who it's by. I would have to look that up. I don't know. Tell me who your name is, and I'll look it up. And I'll send you the name. But it should have that rhythm in it. What is the name of this song? This song is this song. Take the A Train. So you hopefully, I guess, yeah. If you were here for yesterday's lesson, then I already played this. But this is the actual melody for it. And some of you guys are going, oh, I thought I'd heard this before. This is written by Billy Strayhorn, performed by Duke Ellington. This is kind of a slower version of it, but I figured it'd be good to use the chords from an actual tune. If that sounded familiar, that's called Take the A Train. So wow, we got C Jam Blues in here, we got Killer Joe in here, and we have Take the A Train. Even if you don't learn any of this stuff and you just like go listen to those 3 tunes, then that would be a good start on a jazz education for lots of people. Another one. So how did you pick that particular voicing for the Jersey lick? Okay, you are going to love the next lesson. So the Jersey lick is that thing. The Jersey bounce, man, I'm just going to get into teaching the next lesson here. Yeah, so that is the lick. In the same way that like that is the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star lick. That's not one that I decided where the notes should go. The notes decided where they should go because that's the way the song goes. So Jersey Bounce lick is a lick that I stole out of, I say I can't take any credit for it at all. I stole it from someone who stole it from Jersey Bounce. And so yeah, that's just the lick. I didn't get to pick where the notes were going to go. Except I'm going to show you in the next lesson, and I promise I'm not going to get into it here. I'll show you in the next lesson how to decide on each chord it goes in a different place. So I showed you where it goes for a D minor. Because on a minor chord it always goes 2, 3, 5, 6, 2, 1 on a minor 6 chord. So for all minor 6 chords, that's true. It's going to be the numbers. But I'm going to keep my promise and not dive into the next 45 minutes of explaining where to use that on all the other chords as well. So yeah, I think that's it. And hopefully this one got recorded. And if not, I'll re-record this lesson too and put it in the archives. But one way or another, definitely tomorrow's lesson will be in the archives because like I said, I won't be here for the live lesson, and that will be on Jersey Bounce. And until next time, good luck to you. Good luck to my streaming server and recording this thing. Until then, good luck and have fun.